Welcome to Pretty Lies and Alibis. Let's seek the truth and travel the long road to justice together. What you know, Alibis? Hope you're having a great Thursday. We just got the probable cause affidavit for Bryan Kohberger. That was just released. A lot of people are having a hard time accessing it online. I'm sure people are flooding that website with requests to read it. So we're going to do it here. All right. So we're not going to do a music fact. We're going to jump right in. It starts on November 13th, 2022 at approximately 4 p.m. Moscow Police Department. Sergeant Blaker and I responded to 1122 King Road, Moscow, Idaho, which will be known as the King Road residence, to assist with scene security and processing of a crime scene associated with 4 homicides. Upon our arrival, the Idaho State Police forensic team was on scene and was preparing to begin processing the scene. Officer Smith, one of the initial responding officers to the incident, advised he would walk me through the scene. We entered the King Road residence through the bottom floor door on the north side of the building. Officer Smith and I then walked upstairs to the second floor. Smith directed me down the hallway to the west bedroom on the second floor, which I later learned through Xana's driver's license and other personal belongings found in the room was Xana Kernodle's, hereafter Kernodle's, room. Just before this room, there was a bathroom door on the south wall of the hallway. As I approached the room, I could see a body, later identified as Kernodle, lying on the floor. She was deceased with wounds which appeared to have been caused by an edged weapon. Also in the room was a male later identified as Ethan Chapin, hereafter Chapin. Chapin was also deceased with wounds later determined. Autopsy report provided by Spokane County Medical Examiner dated December 15th to be caused by sharp force injuries. I then followed Officer Smith upstairs to the third floor of the residence. The third floor consisted of 2 bedrooms and 1 bathroom. The bedroom on the west side of the floor was later determined to be Kaylee's room. I later learned from review of Officer Nunez body cam there was a dog in the room when Moscow police officers initially responded. The dog belonged to Kaylee and her ex-boyfriend, Jack. I found out from my interview with Jack on November 13th that he and Kaylee shared the dog. Officer Smith then pointed out a small bathroom on the east side of the third floor. This bathroom shared a wall with Madison's bedroom, which was situated on the southeast corner of the third floor. As I entered this bedroom, I could see 2 females in the single bed in the room. Both Kaylee and Maddie were deceased with visible stab wounds. I also later noticed what appeared to be a tan leather knife sheath laying on the bed next to Maddie's right side when viewed from the door. The sheath was later processed and had Kohberger, quote, USMC, end quote, and the United States Marine Corps Eagle Globe and Anchor insignia stamped on the outside of it. The Idaho State Lab later located a single source of male DNA, suspect profile, left on the button snap of the knife sheath. There you go. There's your DNA. As part of the investigation, numerous interviews were conducted by Moscow Police Department officers, Idaho State Police detectives, and FBI agents. 2 of the interviews included, there are initials here, BF and DM. Both BF and DM were inside the Kings Road residence at the time of the homicides and were roommates to the victims. BF's bedroom was located on the east side of the first floor of the Kings Road residence. Based on numerous interviews conducted by officers, detectives, and FBI agents, as well as my review of evidence, I've learned the following. On the evening of November 12th, 2022, Ethan and Xana are seen by BF at the Sigma Chi house on the University of Idaho campus from approximately 9 p.m. on November 12th to 1:45 a.m. on November 13th. BF also estimated that at approximately 1:45 a.m., Ethan and Xana returned to the King Road residence. BF also stated that Chapin did not live in the King Road residence, but was a guest of Xana. Kaylee and Maddie were at a local bar, the Corner Club in Moscow. Kaylee and Maddie can be seen on footage provided by the Corner Club between 10 p.m. on November 12th and 1:30 a.m. on November 13th. At approximately 1:30 a.m., Kaylee and Maddie can be seen on video at a local food vendor called the Grub Truck in downtown Moscow. The Grub Truck live streams video from their food truck on the streaming platform Twitch, which is available for public viewing on their website. The video was captured by law enforcement. A private party, that name is redacted, reported that he provided a ride to Kaylee and Maddie at approximately 1:56 a.m. from downtown Moscow to the King Road residence. DM and BF both made statements during interviews that indicated the occupants of the King Road residence were home by 2 a.m. and asleep, or at least in their rooms by approximately 4 a.m. This is with the exception of Xana, who received a DoorDash order at the residence at approximately 4 a.m. Law enforcement identified the DoorDash delivery driver who reported this information. DM stated she originally went to sleep in her bedroom on the southeast side of the second floor. DM stated she was awoken at approximately 4 a.m. by what she stated sounded like Kaylee playing with her dog in one of the upstairs bedrooms, which were located on the third floor. A short time later, DM said she heard who she thought was Kaylee say something to the effect of, "There's someone here." A review of records obtained from a forensic download of Xana's phone showed this could have also been Xana, as her cellular phone indicated she was likely awake and using the TikTok app at approximately 4:12 a.m. DM stated she looked out of her bedroom but did not see anything when she heard the comment about someone being in the house. DM stated she opened her door a second time when she heard what she thought was crying coming from Xana's room. DM then said she heard a male voice say something to the effect of, "It's okay, I'm going to help you." At approximately 4:17 a.m., a security camera located at 1112 King Road, a residence immediately to the northwest of 1122 King Road, picked up distorted audio of what sounded like voices or a whimper, followed by a loud thud. A dog can also be heard barking numerous times starting at 4:17 a.m. The security camera is less than 50 feet from the west wall of Xana's bedroom. DM stated she opened her door for the third time after she heard the crying and saw a figure clad in black clothing and a mask that covered the person's mouth and nose walking towards her. DM described the figure as 5 foot 10 inches or taller, male, not very muscular, but athletically built with bushy eyebrows. The male walked past DM as she stood in a, quote, frozen shock phase, end quote. The male walked towards the back sliding glass door. DM locked herself in her room after seeing the male. DM did not state she recognized this male. This leads investigators to believe the murderer left the scene. The combination of DM's statements to law enforcement, reviews of forensic downloads of records from BF and DM's phone, and a video of a suspect video as described below leads investigators to believe the homicides occurred between 4 a.m. and 4:25 a.m. During the processing of the crime scene, investigators found a latent shoe print. This was located during the second processing of the crime scene by the ISP forensic team by first using a presumptive blood test and then amino black, a protein stain that detects the presence of cellular material. The detected shoe print showed a diamond-shaped pattern similar to the pattern of a Vans type sole shoe. Just outside the door of DM's bedroom, located on the second floor. This is consistent with DM's statement regarding the suspect's path of travel. As part of the investigation, an extensive search, commonly referred to in law enforcement as a video canvas, was conducted in the area of the King Road residence. This video canvas was to obtain any footage from the early morning hours of November 13th in the area of the King Road residence and surrounding neighborhoods in an effort to locate the suspect or suspect's vehicle traveling to or leaving from the King Road residence. This video canvas resulted in the collection of numerous surveillance videos in the area from both residential and business addresses. I've reviewed numerous videos that were collected and have had conversations with the other MPD officers, ISP detectives, and FBI agents that are similarly reviewing footage that was obtained. A review of camera footage indicated that a white sedan, hereafter suspect vehicle 1, was observed traveling westbound in the 700 block of Indian Hills Drive in Moscow at approximately 3:26 a.m. and westbound on Steiner Avenue at Idaho State Highway 95 in Moscow at approximately 3:28 a.m. On this video, it appeared suspect vehicle 1 was not displaying a front license plate. A review of footage from multiple videos obtained from the King Road neighborhood showed multiple sightings of suspect vehicle 1 starting at 3:29 a.m. and ending at 4:20 a.m. These sightings show suspect vehicle 1 make an initial 3 passes by the 1122 King Road residence and leave via Walenta Drive. Based off my experience as a patrol officer, this is a residential neighborhood with very limited number of vehicles that travel in the area during the early morning hours. Upon review of the video, there are only a few cars that enter and exit this area during this time frame. Suspect vehicle 1 can be seen entering the area a 4th time at approximately 4:04 a.m. It can be seen driving eastbound on King Road, stopping and turning around in front of 500 King Road number 52, and then driving back westbound on King Road. When suspect vehicle 1 is in front of the King Road residence, it appeared to unsuccessfully attempt to park or turn around in the road. The vehicle then continued to the intersection of Queen Road and King Road, where it can be seen completing a 3-point turn and then driving eastbound again down Queen Road. Suspect vehicle 1 is seen departing the area of the King Road residence at approximately 4:20 a.m. at a high rate of speed. Suspect vehicle 1 is next observed traveling southbound on Walenta Drive. Based on my knowledge of the area and review of camera footage in the neighborhood that does not show suspect vehicle 1 during that time frame, I believe suspect vehicle 1 likely exited the neighborhood at Palouse River Drive and Conestoga Drive. Pardon me if I get the names wrong, y'all. Palouse River Drive is at the southern edge of Moscow and proceeds into Whitman County, Washington. Eventually, the road leads to Pullman, Washington. That's where we know he lived. Pullman, Washington is approximately 10 miles from Moscow, Idaho. Both Pullman and Moscow are small college towns, and people commonly travel back and forth between them. Law enforcement officers provided video footage of suspect vehicle 1 to forensic examiners with the FBI that regularly utilize surveillance footage to identify the year, make, and model of an unknown vehicle that is observed by one or more cameras during the commission of a criminal offense. The forensic examiner has approximately 35 years law enforcement experience with 12 years at the FBI. It talks about his training, which includes identifying unique characteristics of vehicles and uses a database that gives visual clues of vehicles across states to identify differences between vehicles. After reviewing observations of suspect vehicle 1, the forensic examiner initially believed that suspect vehicle 1 was a 2011 to 13 Hyundai. Upon further review, he indicated it could also be a 2011 to 2016. As a result, investigators have been reviewing information on persons in possession of a vehicle that is a 2011 to 2016 white Hyundai. Investigators were given access to video footage on the Washington State University campus located in Pullman, Washington. A review of that video indicated that at approximately 2:44 a.m. on November 13th, a white sedan, which was consistent with the description of the white car known as suspect vehicle 1, was observed on Washington State University surveillance cameras traveling north on Southeast Nevada Street at Northeast Stadium Way. At approximately 2:53 a.m., a white sedan, which is consistent with the description of the white car known as suspect vehicle 1, was observed traveling southeast on Nevada Street in Pullman, Washington towards SR 270. SR 270 connects Pullman, Washington to Moscow, Idaho. The camera footage from Pullman, Washington was provided to the same FBI forensic examiner. The examiner identified the vehicle observed in Pullman, Washington as being a 2014 to 2016 Hyundai. At approximately 5:25 a.m., a white sedan consistent with the description of suspect vehicle 1 was observed on 5 cameras in Pullman, Washington, and on Washington State University campus cameras. The first camera that recorded the white sedan was located at 1300 Johnson Road in Pullman. The white sedan was observed traveling northbound on Johnson Road. Johnson Road leads directly back to West Palouse River Drive in Moscow, which intersects with Conestoga Drive. The white sedan was then observed turning north on Bishop Boulevard and northwest on SR 270. At approximately 5:27 a.m., the white car was observed on cameras traveling northbound on Stadium Way at Nevada Street, Stadium Way at Grimes Way, Stadium Drive at Wilson Road, and Stadium Way at Cougar Way. They do have some photos here. They're not very clear. I will put them in a link in the description. And it is a depiction showing the path of travel, and it's not to scale. I love Thrive Market. I've been able to find brands not widely seen in stores that are much cheaper than other places online. I've been using their Foy CBD relief cream for my knee with amazing results. And this is just one example of the many products you can find to better your life, from foods to beauty to health. As a Thrive Market member, I can save money on every single order. And on average, I save 30%. On my last order, I saved $93. On top of the massive savings on each order, Thrive Market has a deals page that changes every day. It gives me cash back on many brands, and they have a price match guarantee. You can search dietary restriction using filters, and even better, they help a family in need with their 1-for-1 membership matching program. You join, they give. Join Thrive Market today and get 30% off your first order plus a free $60 gift. Go to thrivemarket.com/whattheworld for 30% off your first order plus a free $60 gift. That's Thrive, THRIVE, market.com/whattheworld. Thrivemarket.com/what. One of the best feelings of having glad skin on my podcast is feedback from a friend who's tried everything to help ease their daughter's discomfort from eczema. Using the eczema cream, it's the only thing that's helped her. If you've been living with eczema, acne, or rosacea, you can relate to the frustration of trying many products without any long-term relief. You can expect something different with GladSkin. GladSkin specifically works to target the imbalance in your skin's microbiome. And GladSkin uses MicroBalance, a revolutionary protein that restores the balance of the good and bad bacteria that live on your skin so it can finally heal. is so effective that 91% of users, both adult and children, who tried their top-selling eczema cream reported significant improvement after just 7 days. So if you've been frustrated with your treatment options, don't wait to try GladSkin. They are offering my listeners 15% off plus free shipping on your first order at gladskin.com/whattheworld. That's gladskin.com/whattheworld for 15% off plus free shipping. gladskin.com/whattheworld. On November 22nd, Moscow PD asked area law enforcement agencies to be on the lookout for the white Hyundai in the area. On November 29th, 2022, at approximately 12:28 a.m., Washington State University police officer looked for white Hyundais registered at Washington State. As a result, he located a 2015 white Hyundai with a Pennsylvania license plate LFZ-8649. The vehicle was registered to Bryan Kohberger, residing at 1630 Northeast Valley Road, apartment 201, Pullman, Washington. It's approximately 3/4 of a mile from the intersection of Stadium Way and Cougar Way, the last camera location that picked up the white car. The same day, at approximately 12:58 a.m., Washington State University officer Curtis Whitman was looking for the white Hyundai and located a 2015 white Hyundai at 1630 Northeast Valley Road in Pullman in the parking lot. It's an apartment complex that houses Washington State University students. He ran the car and returned it to Bryan with a Washington tag. I reviewed Bryan's Washington State driver's license information and photograph. This license indicates that Bryan is a white male with a height of 6 feet and weighs 185 pounds. Additionally, the photograph of Bryan shows that he has bushy eyebrows. Bryan's physical description is consistent with the description of the male DM saw inside the King Road residence on November 13th. Further investigation, including a review of body cam and reports, showed that on August 21st, Bryan was detained as part of a traffic stop that occurred in Moscow County, Idaho. At the time, Bryan, who was the sole occupant, was driving a white 2015 Hyundai with that Pennsylvania license plate, which was set to expire on November 30th. During the stop, which was recorded via a law enforcement body camera, Bryan provided his phone number, hereafter the 8458 phone, as his cellular telephone number. Investigators conducted electronic database queries and learned the 8458 phone is a number issued by AT&T. On October 14th, 2022, Bryan was detained as part of a traffic stop by a Washington State University police officer. Upon review of that body cam and report of the stop, Bryan was the sole occupant and was driving the white 2015 Hyundai with the Pennsylvania license plates. On November 18th, according to Washington State Licensing, Bryan registered the 2015 white Hyundai with Washington and later received a Washington plate CFB-8708. Prior to this time, the 2015 white Hyundai was registered in Pennsylvania, which does not require a front license plate to be displayed. This was learned through communications with a Pennsylvania officer who is currently certified in the state of Pennsylvania. Based on my own experience and communication with Washington law enforcement, I know that Idaho and Washington require front and back license plates to be displayed. Investigators believe that Bryan is still driving the 2015 Hyundai because his vehicle was captured on December 13th, 2022 by a license plate reader in Loma, Colorado. Information was provided by a database. Bryan's car was then seen December 15th, 2022 by law enforcement in Hancock County, Indiana. On December 16th at approximately 2:26 p.m., surveillance video shows Bryan's car in Albrightsville, Pennsylvania. The sole occupant of the vehicle was a white male whose description was consistent with Bryan. Bryan has family in Pennsylvania, learned through a TLO search and locate tool database. Based on information provided on the Washington State University website, Bryan is currently a PhD student in criminology. Pursuant to records provided by a member of the interview panel for Pullman Police Department, we learned that Bryan's past education included undergraduate degrees in psychology and cloud-based forensics. These records also showed Bryan wrote an essay when he applied for an internship with the Pullman Police Department in the fall of 2022. Bryan wrote in his essay he had interest in assisting law enforcement agencies with how to better collect and analyze technological data in public safety operations. Bryan also posted a Reddit survey, which can be found by an open source internet search. I lost my place. The survey asked for participants to provide information to understand how emotions and psychological traits influence decision-making when committing a crime. As part of this investigation, law enforcement obtained search warrants to determine cellular devices that utilized cellular towers in close proximity to the King Road residence on November 13th between 3 and 5 a.m. After determining that Bryan was associated to both the white Hyundai and the 8458 phone, investigators reviewed these search warrant results. Looking into the 8458 phone in these returns did not show the phone utilizing cell tower resources in close proximity to the Kings Road residence between 3 and 5 a.m. Based on my training, experience, and conversations with law enforcement officers that specialize in the utilization of cell records as part of investigations, individuals can either leave their cell phone at a different location before committing a crime or turn their phone off prior to going to a location to commit a crime. This is done by subjects in an effort to avoid alerting law enforcement that a cellular device associated with them was in a particular area when a crime is committed. I also know that on numerous occasions, subjects will survey an area where they intend to commit a crime prior to the date of the crime. Depending on the circumstances, this could be done a few days before or for several months prior to the commission of a crime. During these types of surveillance, it is possible an individual would not leave their cell phone at a separate location or turn it off since they do not plan to commit the offense on that particular day. On December 23rd, I applied for and was granted a search warrant for historical phone records between November 12th at 12 a.m. and November 14th at 12 a.m. for the 8458 phone held by a phone provider, AT&T, approximately 24 hours preceding and following the times of the homicides. On December 23rd, pursuant to that search warrant, I received records for the 8458 phone from AT&T. These records indicated that the 8458 phone is subscribed to Bryan at an address in Albrightsville, Pennsylvania, and the account had been open since June 23rd of last year. These records also included historical cell site information for the 8458 phone. After receiving this information, I consulted with an FBI agent that is certified as a member of the Cellular Analysis Survey Team, which is called CAST. Members of CAST are certified with the FBI to provide expert testimony in the field of historical CSLI and are required to pass extensive training that includes both written and practical examinations prior to being certified with CAST. Additionally, the FBI CAST SA that I consulted with has over 15 years of federal law enforcement experience, which includes 6 with the FBI. From information provided by CAST, I was able to determine estimated locations for the 8458 phone from November 12th to November 13th, the time period authorized by the court. On November 13th at approximately 2:42 a.m., the 8458 phone was utilizing cellular resources that provide coverage to 1630 Northeast Valley Road, apartment G201 in Pullman, Washington, which is Bryan's residence. At approximately 2:47 a.m., the 8458 phone utilized resources that provide coverage southeast of his residence, consistent with the 8458 phone leaving Bryan's residence and traveling south through Pullman, Washington. This is consistent with the movement of the white Hyundai. At approximately 2:47 a.m., the 8458 phone stops reporting to the network, which is consistent with either the phone being in an area without coverage, the connection to the network is disabled, such as putting the phone in airplane mode, or that the phone is turned off. The 8458 phone does not report to the network again until approximately 4:48 a.m., at which time it utilized cellular resources that provide coverage to Idaho State Highway 95 south of Moscow near Blaine, Idaho. Between 4:50 a.m. and 5:26 a.m., the phone utilizes cellular resources that are consistent with the 8458 phone traveling south on Idaho State Highway 95 to Genesee, Idaho, then traveling west towards Uniontown, Idaho, and then back into Pullman, Washington. At approximately 5:30 a.m., the 8458 phone is utilizing resources that provides coverage to Pullman and consistent with the phone traveling back to Bryan's residence. The 8458 phone's movements are consistent with the movements of the white Hyundai that is observed traveling north on Stadium Drive at approximately 5:27 a.m. Based on a review of the 8458 phone's estimated locations and travel, the 8458 phone's travel is consistent with that of the white Hyundai. Further review indicated the 8458 phone utilized cellular resources on November 13th that are consistent with the 8458 phone leaving the area of Bryan's residence at 9 a.m. and traveling to Moscow, Idaho. Specifically, the 8458 phone utilized resources that would provide coverage to the King Road residence between 9:12 a.m. and 9:21 a.m. I want to go back and look at this date and see November 13th, it looks like. So specifically, the 8458 phone utilized resources that would provide coverage to the King Road residents between 9:12 a.m. and 9:21 a.m. The 8458 phone next utilized cellular resources that are consistent with the 8458 phone traveling back to the area of Bryan's residence and arriving to the area at approximately 9:32 a.m. And so they have a photo here, which I'll put up, is a depiction, not to scale, of the possible route taken based off those cellular locations. Investigators found that the 8458 phone did connect to a cell phone tower that provides service to Moscow on November 14th, but investigators do not believe the 8458 phone was in Moscow on that date. The 8458 phone has not connected to any towers that provide service to Moscow since that date. Based on my training, experience, and the facts of the investigation thus far, I believe Bryan, the user of the 8458 phone, was likely the driver of the white Hyundai that is observed departing Pullman, Washington, and that this vehicle is likely suspect vehicle 1. Additionally, the route of travel of the 8458 phone during the early morning hours of November 13th and the lack of the 8458 phone reporting to AT&T between 2:47 a.m. and 4:48 a.m. is consistent with Bryan attempting to conceal his location during the quadruple homicide that occurred at the King Road residence. On December 23rd, I was granted a search warrant for Kohberger's historical CSLI from June 23rd to current. Prospective location information and a PIN register / trap and trace on the 8458 phone to aid in efforts to determine if Bryan stalked any of the victims in this case prior to the offense, conducted surveillance on the King Road residence, was in contact with any of the victims' associates before or after the alleged offense, any locations that may contain evidence of the murders that occurred on November 13th, 2022. The location of the white Hyundai registered to Bryan, as well as the location of Bryan. On December 23rd, pursuant to that search warrant, I received historical records for the 8458 phone from AT&T from the time the account was opened in June 2022. After consulting with CAST, I was able to determine estimated locations for the 8458 phone from June 2022 to present, the time period authorized by the court. The records for the phone show the phone utilizing cell resources that provide coverage to the area of 1122 King Road on at least 12 occasions prior to November 13th. All of these occasions, except for one, occurred in the late evening and early morning hours of their respective days. So he was totally stalking. That's what it was. This is the stalker theory we've heard so much about. On one of these occasions, August 21st, the 8458 phone utilized cell resources providing coverage to the King Road residents from approximately 10:34 p.m. to 11:35 p.m. At approximately 11:37 p.m., Bryan was stopped by Sheriff's Deputy Corporal Duke, as mentioned above. The 8548 phone was utilizing cell resources consistent with the location of the traffic stop during this time, which is Farm Road and Pullman Highway. Further analysis of the data provided showed the 8458 phone used cellular resources on November 13th, consistent with the phone traveling from Pullman, Washington to Lewiston, Idaho via U.S. Highway 195. At approximately 12:36 p.m., the 8458 phone utilized resources that would provide coverage to Kate's Cup of Joe coffee stand located at 810 Port Drive in Clarkston, Washington. Surveillance footage from the U.S. Chef's store located at 820 Port Drive, Clarkston, Washington, and adjacent to Kate's Cup of Joe showed a white Hyundai consistent with suspect vehicle 1 drive past Kate's Cup of Joe at a time consistent with the cellular data from the 8548 phone. At approximately 12:46 p.m., the 8458 phone then utilized cell data in the area of Albertson's Grocery at 400 Bridge Street in Clarkston, Washington. Surveillance footage obtained from Albertsons showed Bryan exit the white Hyundai consistent with suspect vehicle 1 at approximately 12:49 p.m. Interior surveillance cameras show Bryan walk through the store, purchase unknown items at the checkout, and leave at approximately 1:04 p.m. His possible path of travel is depicted below, not to scale, and that is another map. Additional analysis of records for the 8458 phone indicated that between approximately 5:32 p.m. and 5:36 p.m., the 8458 phone utilized resources that provide coverage to Johnson, Idaho. The 8458 phone then stops reporting to the network from approximately 5:36 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. That is consistent with the 8458 phone being in the area that the phone traveled in the hours immediately following the suspected time the homicides occurred. On December 22nd, Pennsylvania agents recovered the trash from the Kohberger family residence located in Albrightsville, Pennsylvania. That evidence was sent to the Idaho State Lab for testing. On December 28th, the lab reported that a DNA profile obtained from the trash and the DNA profile obtained from the sheath identified a male as not being excluded as the biological father of suspect profile. At least 99.9998% of the male population would be expected to be excluded from the possibility of being the suspect's biological father. Boom. DNA. Can't get past that, y'all. Based on the above information, I'm requesting an arrest warrant be issued for Bryan C. Kohberger, date of birth 11/21/94, for burglary at 1122 King Street in Moscow, Idaho, and 4 counts of murder in the first degree for the murders of Madison, Kaylee, Xana, and Ethan. That is it. So cell data, he was major stalking these people, y'all. DNA from inside the residence where the murders occurred. Like I said, they probably got that trash from the trash can. We got an arrest. There you go, guys. That's it. I've got an episode coming out later on Gavin Knupp, and also probably another episode on this, maybe a short YouTube video, YouTube short. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell button to get notifications. But that's it. I wanted to read this for everybody who doesn't have access to it right now, whether you're at work or just don't have time or you're in your car or whatever. So there it is. I'm very surprised more was not redacted. They really put it out there. So if anything new comes out, I'm on it, and we will see you soon.